Time in YouTube, and welcome back to another episode on the channel. Today we are looking over the Fates Collide set list as Fates Collide comes out in just over a week. Some of you have probably already seen quite a few of the cards, as many of you may have already gone to a pre-release, but I thought it was a good idea to share the likelihood of what I'm expecting from the set. I'm not going to go over every single card, but I will go over what I'm going to probably be using from the set. Now, we're going to start off with a Shuckle. Shuckle, grass type, has Hide Berries and Wrap. Hide Berries is kind of cool. Lets you draw two cards and put one of them back into your, put one card into your hand and on the bottom of your deck. Oh, sorry. You draw two. Put one of your cards, regardless of what it is, on the bottom of your deck. Kind of like a cool siphon. If it's in theme deck format, that'll be really cool. I can't see it getting a lot of play outside of that, but I'm sure somebody will come up with something cool. Moving on. We have Mothim, which is actually a really cool Stage 1 Pokemon. Has Wormathon as its ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may move one damage counter from one of your Wormadam to another Pokemon. That's kind of cool. They're trying to give Mothim and Wormadam some play in this set. If we look just above it, you'll see one of the Wormadam. There's actually quite a few. One of the Wormadam, it's not all that bulky, and it's not all that great. It's a grass type, so you can use Force of Giant Plants. Has Solar Ray, 20 damage, and heal 20 from each of your Pokemon, which is really cool for one grass energy. And Leaf Cutter, 60 damage, plus flipping a coin, we get to do 30 more. I wouldn't really put all that effort into putting that into a deck. Its maximum output is 90. I don't know. Mothim's cool. Moving on, we have a Pokemon that I'm actually really interested in, and that is Serperior. Stage 2. Before we get into Serperior, I should actually look over Servine. Servine has Snakebite, so we're probably going to be evolving into Serperior this way through Force of Giant Plants. And with Snakebite, we may use this ability once you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. Sorry, guys. Anyway. You may evolve one, after evolving it, you get to flip a coin, and if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. That's actually really cool, and that's just through evolution. We have one grass energy for Vine Whip, but that's not a big deal. Moving on, though, to Serperior, this is where it kind of gets cool. We have Coil and Slashdown. Coil only does 40 damage. However, during your next turn, this Pokemon does 60 more damage. Well, now you've got Slashdown, still only one grass energy to use Slashdown. It does 80 naturally, but with Coil's extra damage, you're doing 140. Muscle Band, there's 160. I'm sure that's pretty much a EX knockout right there, you know. Maybe the next turn. Well, let's rephrase that. With Coil, you do 40. With Slashdown, you do 140. Plus a Muscle Band, that's 60 on the original Coil, and 160 now on the Slashdown. That is a knockout. 2 hits, guaranteed to knock out an EX. Maybe not Mega, but still, that's really cool damage. Anyway, moving on. We have Moltres, who is a promo in the set. Moltres, I guess I can bring him up. Look at that artwork. That is one of the best things about this set, is the artwork is fantastic. Moltres has Combustion for one fire energy, 20 damage. For 4 energy, it's got, 2 red. I'm reading the color on the screen. It's 2 fire, 2 colors. Flare Bird does 80 plus damage. You may do 40 more, but if you do, you take 20. No, I don't see that being very competitive. It'll be really cool. Again, theme deck format, that'll be awesome. But not in regular play. I can't see that being regular play. What I can see being regular play, Delphox. First off, that artwork is stunning. I love that artwork, and I do wish that we got the silver borders, because that just looks fantastic. Utterly fantastic. Her attacks, I'll go with a female variant for now. 1 fire energy, Flickering Flame. Now, we just saw what one fire energy does for Moltres. For a Delphox, it does 40 damage. Already 20 more damage. And your opponent's Pokemon is asleep. So for the same energy cost, we get 1 status ailment and 20 damage. I like it. As well, for 3 colorless energy, has Psycho Storm, 20 damage times the number of energies in play. So that is huge. If you've got an opponent setting up basics or big basics on the back, if you're setting up Delphox or whoever you want on the back, it all counts into Delphox's amazing Psycho Storm ability. Attack. Sorry, not ability. Should eventually figure out how to fix my yawning. Anyway, Delphox Break helps us even further, as Delphox Break still retains all the abilities and attacks of our previous Delphox, but it gets Flare Watch. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. Shuffle your deck afterwards. That's really cool. Like, seriously. So, I can attach an energy, grab an energy from Delphox Break. I can Blacksmith. So there's 4 energy in one turn. That's a guaranteed 80 damage without even having to think. And that's not including all the energies I've had all game. So, can it get up high? Yes. Depends on who you're playing against. So, I'm interested to see it. You'll probably see this on my channel for sure. So, keep an eye out for that. Dugong is missable. They brought back fossils. Now, Ammonite and Amistar are kind of cool. They tried with this set. They did try. Amistar has Restoration Beam. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a restored Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Shuffle your deck afterwards. I have to work to get one Amistar, but as soon as I do, all my Ammonites are pretty much good to go. But it's going to take a lot of work to get Amistar going. What's really cool, again, is they've got an Amistar break, but you're looking at a stage 3 here. Now, sure, this is a stage 3. Delphox break is a stage 3, I'll admit it. But it's really easy to get out, in consideration. I just have to rare Candy Fennekin into Delphox and maybe Wally up to a Delphox break. Not really too hard. I have to find a restored Pokemon first. And we'll get to that later. They're in the items portion of this, but it's... I don't know. We're going to try it, probably. Amistar break is kind of cool. He does have dangerous tentacles. Once during your turn, you may choose one of your opponent's benched Pokemon EX and switch it into the active position. So it's like having a Lysander, but for EXs, and a reusable ability without too much hassle. Except that Amistar can't attack, and it's a lot of setup for a benched mon. We'll see. Now here is a Pokemon that's going to see probably some play. We have a counterpart to it in Generations. It's called Jolteon EX. Jolteon EX had Crystal Ray, if you can see it, on Glaceon. Same idea. I think it was Flash Ray or something. I do forget the attack. I do apologize. But ideally it's the same. Does 70 damage and has an amazing effect. Except for Jolteon's is better. Jolteon's affects basics. Glaceon's affects evolved Pokemon. So as long as the Pokemon has evolved, Glaceon is immune to it, which is cool. But we still have a very basic heavy format. And Glaceon would be a really cool tech, but it's not a Jolteon EX. Jolteon EX still has the better of the two. Moving on, I'm trying to go through this quickly. White Kyurem actually is really cool. For 1 water, 1 colorless, we have Burning Icicle, 40 damage. If this Pokemon has any fire energy attached to it, choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and do 20 more damage to them. Beautiful. So bench damage is always welcome. And again, that's not a an expensive cost when you really look at it. 1 fire energy and 1 water energy, not bad. Has Blizzard Burn, 130 damage, which is really cool. It's 3 energy isn't bad, and that is going to knock out a ton of non-EX Pokemon. And besides the fact that it can't attack during the next turn, it's 2-shot potential for EXs. We can just run a Zoroark or something to counter out this negativity. It's really easy to get around. So I think White Current will see some play. Now we move on to Bapeachu. And Bapeachu is kind of cool in the sense that he has the ability Hand Block. You can use this ability if you have a stadium in play. As long as this Pokemon is in play, your opponent can't attach any special energy cards from his or her hand. Well then, special energies run the meta. They severely hinder a player if you can't play them. Just think of all the matches you've probably seen with an Aegis/EX, and you can't attack it because all you run is special energies. Now you can't play them. For some decks, that means they can't do anything. Bapeachu will see some play, and it's going to be a really cool tech. I'm interested to see what people will come up with and what kind of decks this guy will be in, but he definitely will see play. Now, the mascot of the set is Alakazam EX and Mega Alakazam EX. First off, let's look at the artwork. This is really cool. The kind of like an electric pulse kind of going through. I guess he's using a Psybeam or Psychic or some sort of attack. And then you've just got Alakazam going for the Zen Force. I love the artwork. Anyway, going on to playability, we have Spoon Bending on Alakazam EX. When this Pokemon evolves into Mega Alakazam EX, you may place 2 damage counters on your opponent's active and 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench. So that's 50 damage just evolving your Mon. That is huge. That is really huge. He's got Suppression, 1 Psychic, 1 Colorless. Place 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any energy attached to it. Again, that's not seeming like a lot, but when we get into Mega Alakazam, Zen Force, 1 Psychic, 1 Colorless, we're going to do 10 damage. Plus, this attack does 10 more damage, does 10 damage, plus 30 more damage for each damage counter already on the opponent's active Pokemon. So again, we're putting 2 damage counters naturally. We're putting 3 damage counters on it from Suppression. So that's 3, that's 5, that's 150 damage plus 10, that's 160. Plus the damage that you've already done from 1 turn of Suppression and 1 evolution. That's knockout potential. Now, you say, I'm going to lose my momentum if I go for a Suppression. Well, there are item cards that will help Alakazam and Mega Alakazam do this more consistently, and we will get to that in a little bit. Moving along, I will pass over Wheezing as it's not too amazing. It's alright. I'm more interested in Mew. Mew has beginning memories. Do you happen to know what the most iconic, or the most meta-breaking deck right now is? It's Night March. What did Night March have before the rotation of Legendary Treasures? It had Mew EX. Mew EX was able to use Joltix, Pumpkaboos, Night March attack at the higher HP value of an EX Pokemon. Well, this Mew can do that exact same thing. Now, it has a lot less HP, but I'm not giving up one of my Night Marchers on the bench, and I could have more Night Marchers now in the discard without having to lose my attackers. I see Mew being a very powerful mon, and you also have to remember that it can hold a Fighting Fury belt, so that gives it 90 HP plus 10 more attack damage. And if I really need to, it has Encounter. Search your deck for a Pokemon card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. So if I don't have a Night Marcher on the bench, I will next turn. I think Mew will see play. I really do. Do I see it changing Night March overly? No. I think it'll be a really cool addition, just like how Vespiquen was. But Night March is strong on its own, and this will either be a really helpful tool, or it will change it completely. I see it more being on its own. We'll see. Moving on, we did get a really cool card called Grumpig. I do not see this seeing a lot of play, to be honest with you, but I did want to note it. It has, for 1 psychic energy, Head Walking. Choose a basic Pokemon in your opponent's discard pile, put it onto their bench, then place 3 damage counters on it. Remember Night March? Now, if I've knocked out a Joltik, I get to Head Walking Joltik onto the bench and put 3 damage counters on it. Another knockout. It's kind of sweet. He's got Beat Skip too, 50 damage. Your opponent switches his or her active Pokemon with one of his or her bench. That's again, like I said though, I don't see a lot of people running Grumpig. It does have that ability to stop Night March, or at least Joltik, but I don't see a lot of play. I just wanted to kind of go over it because it was kind of cool. Now what I want to play, this is one of the decks that I love. I like the fun decks, not the super serious, not the super competitive, just the fun, let's have a tech. If you have, one of my favorite decks that I've played up until this point on the channel was Mamoswine, and this is very similar. Reuniclus, first off, has incredible artwork. I love all 3 of these guys. They look awesome. But what's even better about Reuniclus is his attack. Link Fusion. 1 psychic, 1 colorless. Does 10 damage. Not a lot, but bear with me. If a Solosis, this guy here, is on your bench, you're going to do 30 more damage. If there's a Duosion, this guy right here, on your bench, it's going to do 60 more damage. And if there's another fellow Reuniclus, you're going to do 90 damage. And yes, folks, it does stack. So if I have one of each of them, I can do 190 damage. Did I mention Dimension Value lowers my attack cost down to 1 psychic energy, so I can do 190 damage for 1 energy? Albeit, it's a lot harder to get this out considering it is a stage 2, but I think this deck will be a lot of fun. I don't see it being competitive. Don't get me wrong. It'll be really cool, a nice little rogue deck, having a little bit of fun out there, but it will be a lot of fun, and I'm interested. I'm very interested in this card. Moving on to Marowak. No Cubone in this set. Keep that in mind. But there is a Marowak with Bodyguard. You and your hand are not affected by effects of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks. Seismitoad cannot item lock you. Trevenant cannot item lock you. That is really cool. Sorry, Trevenant can item lock you. I misread it. It's an ability. Only attacks. So Seismitoad can't. Alright. I can see Marowak break decks running an instance of this, maybe on the bench. Just that way we have like an extra sort of tech in there. Bone Meringue isn't too bad either for 1 fighting, 1 colors. It's going to do 60 times. Flip 2 coins. Does 60 damage each time. 120 damage for coin flips. We've seen it before. It's not all that great. Moving on to the next fossil, though. Kabutops. Now, I love the artwork. The artwork is really cool. Just kind of wish the card was a little better. Now, first off, it's a restored Pokemon, so we need to have the item cards that we'll go over later to evolve this guy. Technically, he's a stage 2, and his attacks aren't really all there. He's 2 colorless, he has Stick 2, 50 damage, heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage that this attack does to your opponent. So I get to heal 50 damage. Big whoop. I've got 150 HP. That's not game breaking. A lot of mons can even one-shot me. So 50 damage isn't going to do it. X-Scissors. 80 damage. Okay. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does an additional 60 damage. Okay, we're doing 140. I get it. Muscle Band. strong energy, fighting stadium. I can get that damage up there. But why would I want to put the effort into setting this guy up for that when there are other mods that I can set up as a basic and do more damage? Look at Lucario. Lucario EX, I should say. Wow, that thing can do a lot of damage, and I don't need all that setup. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll skip all these Larvitar stages for now. Regirock EX is going to be awesome. First off, he's very similar to a Deoxys from Plasma Blast? I might get my set wrong there. Each of your fighting Pokemon does 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, excluding Regirock EX. That's really good, considering we already have, as Pre said, Muscle Band, Strong Energy, Fighting Stadium. Now I'm doing 10 more damage because of just a mon sitting on my bench. That is so good. I can't see somebody putting 4 in, but 2? I could see somebody putting 2 of these in a deck and just saying, hey look, I've got a Regirock, I can do more damage. Good enough for me. We have Bedrock Press on it. Again, I'm not really attacking with it, but during your opponent's next turn, any damage done to this Pokemon is reduced by 20. So if I have to, hey look, I have a 100 damaging attack and it's reducing damage for me. A little bit of stall is never a bad thing. Cool. We have our second Wormadam. Is it better? Not really. Does 30 damage for 1 fighting energy. Okay, again, it's a fighting Pokemon. That's not bad. Twin Bomber, 60 damage. If you have a Mothim on your bench, this attack does 60 more damage. Hey, I see the connections here. Again, I'm only doing 120 damage. It's not really all that great. Not really. Anyway, we're going to move on. We are starting to get into the Lucarios. Now, this Lucario, we're going to pass over. Not very good. This Hawlucha, not really good. It has backflip, draw a card, wicked jab, 30 damage for the coin. If heads, you get a status on it. Meh. Carbink. They did some work with Carbink in this one. Unlike all the fairy variants, the fighting variants are actually cool. One of them has the ability Energy Keeper. As long as this Pokemon is in play, your basic Pokemon's basic energy can't be discarded by effects of your opponent's attacks, abilities, or trainers. That's really good. At least to warrant one tech of. Because I don't know how many times I've been Team Flare Grunted and I've lost my basic energies. And again, it's your basic Pokemon's basic energy, so you can't evolve your Pokemon and not lose them. It's straight up basic. Moving on to the second Carbink. This one brings back Safeguard, which a lot of people do like. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX. So if you are up against a wall and you have Carbink out, don't have to worry, guys. He will not be hurt by an EX. So he is an amazing card there. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but again, he's a fighting type. We can give it all those boosts. We can give it Regirock. There's just so much things that, you know, the fighting Carbinks are going to be pretty good. And then they got a break. That's right, they got a break card. So, the additional attack for Carbinks is going to be Diamond Gift, 20 damage. And you get to attach 2 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench fighting Pokemon. So for 1 fighting energy, attach it to Carbink, and I can almost set up another fighting type mon in the process. And you can remember, I can put this on my Safeguard one, which means that Pokemon EX cannot attack me. That's cool. Or I could put it on this guy, and my basics can't lose their energy. So if I give it to a Lucario, there are endless possibilities here. This is awesome. I like this combo. Moving on to the Zygardes. Oh, about time. That's all I can say. Zygarde desperately needed some love. And it got 3 variants in this one. We have Zygarde 10% form, not actually called that on the card, but we know it's 10%. Vigilance or Break. This is not going to be a game-changing card. It's going to be cool if you're playing a Dark or Fairy deck, but that's it. Zygarde 50% form. has Rumble and Geostrike. It's theme deck worthy. It's going to be really cool. Fighting type with all these cool attacks. In standard play? No. We're going to be playing this guy. First off, I like the artwork. I don't care what anybody says. I like my Megazords. And I'm really happy with the design of Zygarde. Full 100%. I really do. Now, the basic card has Earth Pulse, Cell Storm, and Ground Force. 20 damage, 60 damage, and 100 damage. Sounds a lot like Lucario. The additional effects aren't really the same, but Zygarde has something cooler. And we'll get to that in a minute. Moving on to Umbreon EX. Now, again, this is a lot more of a tech card than a main attacker. First off, its max output is only 70 damage. Okay, not bad. But if we can get it to go, endgame, it's going to do 70. And if damage from this attack knocks out our opponent's active Mega Pokemon, you take 2 additional prizes. Okay, we're in a format that, although Megas are in the game, not a whole lot of people play Megas. There's a couple odd Mega Mewtwo's, you know, couple odd other ones, but for the most part, Megas aren't the be-all format. So it's not worth putting it as a 4 of in a deck, but having a 1 of an Umbreon EX in a dark type deck, that could win you a lot of games just because you have the tech. I like it. Moving on to the Tyranitar. First off, one of my favorite pseudos in all of Pokemon TCG. Tyranitar gets a cool evolution. I'm not saying it's great. We will try it out for sure. It has the ability Roar of Anger. You may use this ability when you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. It attaches many dark energies from your discard pile to this Pokemon as prize cards your opponent has taken. So, the later in the game we are, the more likely we can set up a Tyranitar. Cool. Only one problem. Dark Mountain takes 5 dark energy. Not colorless. No. I can't use Card Bank Break and start setting it up. No. Well, okay, it's fighting type, but you get the point. I can't just transfer this energy on. No. 5 dark energy is really hard to get out. I don't care if we have Roar of Anger. That is hard to get out. This is still going to be a really cool card because it's going to do 150 plus, discard the top 2 cards of our deck. Oh my geez, there's an additional negative. I have to discard 2 additional cards plus the 5 energy. That's a lot. But this attack does 50 more damage for each supporter card discarded this way. So I have to discard a supporter, something that could keep the momentum in my favor. I have to be in the negative. I have to be losing the game to get all these dark energies for free. And I'm only doing 200 damage, which I know that sounds like a lot, but if I'm playing against a Mega or a Entei with 2 Fighting Fury Belts, if I'm doing my math right, I'm not knocking anything out. I only have 160 HP, so things can knock me out pretty quick. It's really tech cool, but I don't know. Surprisingly enough, we did not get the Mandibuzz break, as far as I know. At least not from the set list that I've seen. So Mandibuzz has some cool stuff in Bone Drop. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon's ability that has an ability that this attack does 60 damage to that Pokemon. So it's cool to counter Garbodor. That's it. Cutting Wind 80 damage. Meh. Kind of a meh Pokemon. Oh, look at that! The Wormadam's come back. We've got a Steel type now. For 1 Metal Energy, we're going to do 20 times. This attack does 20 damage times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. Hey, I remember having a Mothim that lets me move my damage counters around. Okay. So I have 100 HP. If I have 90, that's 180 damage. I'm gonna die at the next turn, but hey, it's 180 damage from a Wormadam. That's not bad. It's got Iron Head as well for 1 metal, 2 colorless, 60 damage. Flip a coin until you get its tails. This attack does 20 more damage for each heads. That's not good. I bite. I'll bite that it could lead to a ton of damage, but I have no guaranteed damage on that. I think the Wormadams are just an overlook, and we'll just pass right by them. Not worth it, in my opinion. Alright, on to our next Stage 1 and Break evolution. We have Bronzong and Bronzong Break. This variant of Bronzong has Steel Fortification. As long as this Pokemon is in play, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by your opponent's attacks. Or I can use Mr. Mime. It's not a Stage 1. And is a pretty good mod to do it too. Meh. We have Bronzong Break, able to use Gold Rain. 1 metal, 1 colorless. Discard as many metal energies attached to this Pokemon as we like. Then choose a number of your opponent's Pokemon equal to the number of energies you discarded this way. Apparently my antivirus wanted to be part of this video. You may I'll restart that. Gold Rain discards many energy as you attach to this Pokemon as you like. Then choose a number of your opponent's Pokemon equal to the number of energies you discard this way. This attack does 30 damage to each of those Pokemon for each time you chose. Oh, you can choose the same Pokemon multiple times. Cool. 30 damage is not a lot. And I get it. We could use the Bronzong with the Metal Links, bring in a Zoroark combination, kind of set up all those energies, kind of go with it. Now, I have to use 1 Bronzong to attack now, because of Break. So I'm putting it in the active position, possibly knocked out. Second off, the likelihood is I'll be getting 1 energy a turn, because I'm already using a Bronzong. Setting up 3 to get Bronzong breaks to even attack the following turn, that's not a lot. And I'm doing a maximum output of 60 because I can discard 2 energy. And I think I'll pass. What I won't pass on though is the Metal Lucario. This card, first off, if you haven't seen the artwork, that thing is gorgeous. Because he's got the Mega Alakazam in the back. He's like, I can handle this. I'm alright. Second off, he's got Fight Alone. He's got Vacuum Wave. Hold on. He's got Vacuum Wave. For 1 metal energy, he's going to do 50 damage, and it's not affected by weakness or resistance. That's not bad. But he has Fight Alone. For 1 metal, 1 colorless, he does 30 damage. And if you have less Pokemon in play than your opponent, this attack does 60 more damage, times the number in the difference as your opponent. So, if you have 1 Pokemon, and your opponent has 6, this attack does 30 plus 60 by 5, 330 damage for 2 energy. Yes, please. Now, obviously your opponent can set up to counteract this, but hey, there's Target Whistle, there's other cards coming out that could help this. So I think Lucario can be very viable. I think it'll be pretty cool and a very interesting card to play against. Genesect EX is another cool card. It has the ability Cassette Change, which lets you change its Pokemon tool every turn. Need a Muscle Band? Sure. Need a Heart Charm? Okay, I can use that too. Need a Fighting Fury Bell. Hey, now that's what we're talking about. Unfortunately, that doesn't really do too much. You're going to be changing your hand so many times, and usually you want to run just 1 item card anyway. The one that has the maximum effect, so I can't see changing your item cards too much. It's got for 3 Metal Energy, Rapid Blaster, 100 plus damage. You may discard as many Metal Energies from this Pokemon as you like. This attack does 20 more damage for each Metal Energy discarded in this way. Okay, so it's very, very similar to Bronzong Break in that regard. We get 20 damage for each Metal Energy we discard. We can get up to 160 damage, but we had to discard the energy. Now, with Genesect at least, we can use a Bronzong to bring that energy back. We'll have to only sack maybe 2, depending on the amount of Bronzongs we have. If we have 2 of them on the bench, 1 Genesect, we're okay. If we've got 3, hey, just 160, 160, 160. We're good to go all the time. It's a cool concept. We'll see how it plays. Moving on, we're gonna bypass Wigglytuff. We're gonna bypass Mr. Mime. We're gonna bypass Snubbull. Mega Altaria EX. Now, albeit the original one is colorless, so we're gonna get to that a little later on. But the Mega is really pretty. Has Mist Purge, 1 Fairy, 2 colorless, 100 plus damage. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, this attack is going to do 30 more. And heal 30 from each of your Pokemon. So not only is she a Cleric, but she's going to do some major damage. 130 damage is not bad. And because it's a Mega, it's kind of bulky. 220 HP is a lot. So you're not really going to get knocked out. And you can always switch them out. You know, there are a lot of cards that can rotate around your Pokemon, so if you've got 2 of these going, well, I can heal quite often. And there's still Aromatisse. It might get cycled out. We'll see how certain sets in the future can work, and if we get Aromatisse back, Mega Altaria will still be pretty viable. I like the card, I really do, and I'm hoping it does well in the standard format. Whimsicott, nah, I don't care about. Diancie EX is another cool fairy Pokemon. Twinkle Veil, as long as this Pokemon is your active, any damage done to your Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 30. Kind of counts for the fact that Diancie has very low HP cost, 150. But, technically it would be 180 if you could hit it. Has, for 1 fairy, 2 colors, Miracle Stage, 60 plus damage. If there's a stadium in play, this attack does 50 more. 110, and as long as it's your active Pokemon, you're going to be walling some attacks. So, I don't know if it'll see a lot of play, but I think it'll be a really interesting card to build around. Or tech into, say, like a Mega Altaria deck, if I'm trying to stall out a turn or two. We'll see. We have Kingdra EX, who is going to see some play. I think this card will see some play. Heavy Storm, 20 damage, discard any stadium card in play. That's really good for one colorless energy. Discarding your opponent's stadium is really good. Discarding our own, not so likely, but hey, I don't have to use the attack. Has Dragon Trail, 1 water, 3 colorless. This attack does 30 more damage for each basic lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. This card will fit very well in a Magnezone Raikou deck. Sure, we have to attach some water energy, but I think this card will see some play. It's very strong, because if you think of it, 369 plus the 60, that's 150 damage, and with the ability to continuously get electric energy, Kingdra should see a knockout or 2. I see it doing alright. Meowth, not so much. Kangaskhan, I love the artwork, look at that thing, but it's not a very good card. Aerodactyl, on the other hand, that's an alright card. Now, okay, it's another restored Pokemon, but at least it's only technically a stage 1. Like, yeah, sure, it's basic in principle, but it's a stage 1. Has Bite and Jet Draft. For 1 double colorless energy, we're doing 120 damage. And discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active. That's actually pretty good. I'll give it Aerodactyl. That's not bad. That is not bad. We have Snorlax. We have Rollover and Swallow. Now, don't let the colorless, the whole energy count kind of throw you off, because you can use double colorless energy. Rollover does 30 damage, plus this attack can be used even if I'm asleep. That's not bad. And if I am asleep, I'm going to do 90 more damage. So that's 120 damage if I'm asleep. Finally, a Snorlax that thrives on being asleep. That is something cool. Has Swallow, 50 damage. Heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to the defending Pokemon. That's a lot of energy for 50 damage. I get to heal, sure, but Rollover just seems so much better. Now we get into Lugia. Lugia has 120 HP, which is really good for a basic. It has Pressure. When this Pokemon is your active, damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon's attacks is reduced by 20. So no matter what, as long as Lugia is active, it's taking 20 less damage from every attack it takes. That's not bad. Rising Burn for 3 colorless, 60 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, this attack does 60 more, so I can do 120 if it's an EX. Not bad, not bad. It's an alright Lugia. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my god, but I like it. And then we have Lugia Break. First off, I like the artwork. I love me some Lugia, and I don't care what anybody says. I will continue to stand by it as long as Lugia is in the game. But it does boost that good old Pressure's threshold from 120 HP to 150 plus the reduction, so definitely more bulky. And it gets Destruction Wave. 4 colorless energy, 150 damage, discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon. So, double colorless energy. Bronzong? So 2 metal energy, and just discard the 2 metal energy, and just kind of go in that regard. I like it, and we can continuously do 150 damage, plus a muscle band, that's 170, that is knockout potential. There are ways to make Lugia Break usable, and he's only a stage 1, so that I'm alright with. I think I'll play a Lugia Break for sure. We've got Exploud. Not really all that amazing. He's got Ambush, 80 plus damage, flip a coin if heads, this attack does 40 more damage, so 120. Pretty much the same as Lugia Basics. At maximum output, that is. Cacophony, at the end of your opponent's next turn, discard the defending Pokemon and all cards attached to it. That's really cool. But I'm discarding them. So I'm not actually getting a prize, I'm not getting a knockout, I'm not getting anything, I'm just getting rid of the threat. And the likelihood is, there's another one on the bench waiting for me. And I didn't get any prizes for it. Nah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it's Deck Wizard worthy? Maybe. Altaria EX, though, is definitely not Deck Wizard worthy. In fact, it's more like an extra special worthy. 1 colorless energy gets you powerful gain, 30 damage, plus, if this Pokemon recovered any HP this turn, this attack does 60 more damage, and remove 3 counters from this Pokemon. So I can heal, I get healed again, and I do 60 more, plus, so it's 90 damage for a double colorless energy, and I'm healing. That's really good, I like it. Has Shining Wind, 3 colorless energy, 80 damage. This Pokemon has no weakness during your opponent's next turn, so I get to remove that Mega Manectric weakness. I like it. And again, it can evolve into Mega Altaria, which is just beautiful in my eyes. Moving on to the other colorless colorless EX Pokemon. Thank you. Sorry for that. We have Audino. Audino has Drain Slap for 1 colorless, 20 damage, healed 20 damage from this Pokemon. You know, for an Audino, that's not bad. It's a wall. It's got 180 HP, so it's a wall. For 3 colorless energy, we get to do the Wave. 60 plus damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each of your benched Pokemon. Skyfield will have a heyday, because that's, what, 7 plus 60? So that's, what, 130? Not bad for a standard EX. And then we've got the Mega, who has Magical Symphony. First off, a little bit more bulky, 220 HP. Magical Symphony, however, for 3 colorless energy, is going to do 110 damage. So we're a little lower on the damage scale, sure. If we played a supporter card from our hand this turn, which we will pretty much do every turn of the game, this attack does 50 more damage to one of your opponent's benched. So 110 to the active and 50 to the bench is really good. We can soften up our next target while we're taking care of the main threat. I like it. We'll see something from this. We're not going to bother with Cinccino. I know they're cool and all, they're cute and cuddly, but they're not very good cards. We'll start the items with the Spirit Links. All 3 of them are right at the top. Ironically, we have Alakazam, Altaria, and Audino. We have a Bent Spoon, Pokemon Tool, attached to one of your Pokemon, and it prevents all effects of attacks except damage done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. It's not a great card. I'm not gonna waste a place in my tool pouch for a bent spoon when I could give my Pokemon a muscle band or a spirit link in case if it's Alakazam, or I don't know, there's just so many better item cards that I can't warrant a space for bent spoon. I don't know. I can't. I don't think I'll be playing too much of it, but I will if someone finds a way to use it. I'm sure someone will. We're moving on to Chaos Town. It's the two-sided stadium for this set. Red side, choose which... we get to decide which way we want to go. If we chose red, we cannot be asleep or paralyzed. That's cool. That's cool. So no sleep, no paralyzed. I like it. Blue side, can't be poisoned or confused. So if we're worried about special conditions, we can go with that. I like it. If you're running, say... Now, you could run it with Hypno Darkrai, but obviously All Night Party just works for Darkrai so much better. Our next item card is going to be De-Evolution Spray. Helps out Tyranitar, and it helps out Mega Alakazam. So I'm going to quickly scroll back to Tyranitar, and we're going to look at this in just a second. So I evolved my Pupitar into Tyranitar, and I got all those energies because I evolved, and my opponent has a higher prize count. Well, I'm going to de-evolve. Now I've got a T-Tar, and I'm going to evolve on the following turn and get more Dark Energies. So, they gave Tyranitar a tool that can work. How well it'll work, we'll eventually find out. And for Mega Alakazam, who's a lot more close to the top, we have the ability to use Spoon Bending a lot more often. We can use an evolution, go for an attack. On the following turn, we go for a de-evolution spray, go for a suppression. And then on the following turn, we can Mega Evolve again, go for another Zen Force, and we're getting a ton of damage off. So, I like it. De-evolution spray is going to be a cool item to have back in format. Dome Fossil is the start of all our fossil items. We've got Dome Fossil, we'll have the Helix Fossil, and the Old Amber for Ammonite, Kabuto, Aerodactyl respectively. Energy Pouch is something that we'll probably see some play. If the Pokemon this tool is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, return all basic energies attached to that Pokemon from your discard pile to your hand. That's cool. I can get all those energies back, don't have to worry too much about them. Think of Raikou, or Kingdra EX. One goes down. I have an energy pouch attached to it. Scoop it all back up, and I can reattach it to the new Kingdra EX going out, because, well, Magnezone does that. So, I like it. I do. We have Energy Reset. Return any number of energy cards attached to your Pokemon in play to your hand. I don't know. I can't immediately think of something I'd use it for, but I'm sure somebody will. Fairy Drop is a really cool fairy healing item. Remove 5 counters from one of your Pokemon that has any fairy energy attached to it. So it's just 10 damage less from a Super Potion, but I don't have any penalties. But with Max Potion in the format right now, Fairy Drop probably won't see too much play. I'm happy to announce, though, that Fairy Garden did get a reissue, so this is going to be a really cool card to have back in format. We have Fossil Excavation Kit, which will help us get our Aerodactyl, or our Old Ambers, our Helix Fossils, and all that kind of stuff. Yay! Meh. Again, we've got the Helix Fossil. Last is Recommendation. Draw cards equal to the number of your opponent's benched basic Pokemon. If they haven't got any, I'm wasting a supporter. But if we've got Skyfield out, and they've got 7 on the field, or 8 on the field, I forget how it goes. If they've got 8, That's 8 cards I could draw. It's situational, I'll admit, but Lass's recommendation can be better than some of the supporters out there right now. But would I run it? Theme deck format? Yes. Mega Capture. I'm not running this card ever. Even if there is a Mega Pokemon in our opponent's deck, why would I run this in case of that? I could just use, I don't know, a Lysander. One of the trainer cards that we've all been wanting to come back and returns to standard. I don't need to go over this card. I'm sure most of you have played this or seen this card. And if you haven't, you're going to be seeing a ton of it because N is an amazing supporter. We have the Old Amber Aerodactyl. Pokemon Fan Club makes a return, which is really nice because it's been a very long time since this card's been reprinted. Power Memory. Now, do you remember I was saying about Zygarde EX that it had an additional tool that Lucario didn't have? This is it. As long as this item card is attached to a Zygarde EX, it gets the attack all cell burn. 2 fighting, 1 colorless, 200 damage. And discard 3 energies attached to this Pokemon. So, Carbink Break can bring those energies back. Power Memory just keeps on discarding. And I don't have to use the attack if I don't want to. I have 3 decent attacks, remember? So, I think Zygarde will see some play. People will definitely love the card. So, Power Memory, cool item. Random Receiver makes a comeback, but with VS Seeker and a bunch of other cards in the format. I don't know how well it will be received, but it's nice to have some old cards back. A better standard old card is Scorched Earth, and again, very happy to have this back in format. We're getting a reprint of Shauna. Team Rocket's Handiwork. Now, I want you to remember that this is a supporter. Flip 2 coins for each heads. Discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. It's a gamble. It's the cost of my supporter, so I can't draw cards. And I get to mill possible 4 cards. Now, I'll bite. If I'm playing a mill deck, that's exactly what I want to do. But is it worth me not getting the cards for the turn? I don't think this will be that amazing. But I'm sure someone will make it deadly. Oh yeah, it'll be a deadly card in someone's hands. We are getting a reprint of Ultra Ball and Double Colorless Energy, which for me is awesome because in real life I've run out of both of these and I need a lot more. I like building decks. Strong Energy also gets a reprint for those of you who were hoping that the fighting Pokemon were going to get a little weaker as a rotation soon is going to happen. Not going to happen. Strong Energy is here to stay. Now, I'm not going over the next cards. They're all full arts. But I want to hear in the comments section below, what is your favorite full art coming from this set? And mine is probably going to be the full art Altaria. Altaria is one of my favorite Pokemon in this set, and the fact that it got a full art is just, oh my god. I love the blue, I love the gold trim, it looks really crisp, really clean, and I love it. I like the Mega too, don't get me wrong, but this one just looks so much more pure and innocent, it's just so pretty. But with that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope I didn't bore you reading a whole bunch of text to you guys, but I'm interested to see what you guys are also interested. Wow, I just said that a bunch of times. I want to know what your favorite cards are from the set, and are there a bunch of decks that you're going to be playing that, maybe I missed the card and I should have mentioned it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next episode, I will see you guys later. Time out.